Welcome back to Border Adventures. The tough times continue in Switzerland. We've played through the winter break. We've played through the January transfer window. We've done plenty of business. We've changed the system. Form continues to be incredibly patchy. We're down in 7th place today. We take on St. Gallen, who are in 6th. So we've been pretty active during the January transfer window. Here's the primary reason why. The board accepted a £9.75 million offer for Pierre Koopmeiners from a Chinese team. He wanted to leave his up sticks and he has gone, which swelled our budget somewhat but left a gaping hole in our own squad. So this is the man we've brought in to replace him. 19-year-old German called Finn Ott. I think if we compare him with the man that he's come in to replace, you'll see that at £850,000, he's not a bad bit of business. The only trouble is, we didn't know this until we got to the first game after the winter break, but this rapscallion has already played for 2 clubs already this season, so he's not available to us until the start of next. But we've brought in plenty of other players as well. We've got a couple of new wingers in a little chap called Tosin Ayagoon, who's 2-footed and plays over on the left, and John Yaboa, who's also 2-footed and plays over on the right. And we've brought in a new playmaker because our friend Peter Kostolansky has got great attributes but hasn't really knocked our socks off so far this season. So we've brought in on a permanent transfer the Argentine Jonathan Carmona, who scored on his debut as we managed to beat Zurich straight after the restart. We did follow that up with another defeat, a 3-1 crushing at the hands of Young Boys Bern, who are top of the table. But before the winter break, we went into it in pretty poor form as well, with 3 defeats, sending us into the festive period with an absolute whimper. So we've got to make one change for the bench today. And I think actually we're going to put young Peter Kamini on the bench. But this is the system that we're playing with now. 2 defensive midfielders, a playmaker, and a couple of wide players in play as well. And we're going to go out and face St. Gallen today and hope. We don't want him to be squad number 1, do we? I think 16 might be more to his liking. We're going to hope that we can get another win under our belt, because we are certainly looking over our shoulders as much as we're looking up the table. This is a team that the board talking about as potentially pushing for a title within the next 2 or 3 seasons. We're more looking at getting them relegated inside the next 6 months. So we need to try and make a little bit of a more positive impression on the Swiss top flight. That first game against Zurich back after the winter break, we looked really good. We were solid and we won 1-0 against Young Boys in the last time out. Far from convincing against the best team in Switzerland. Here we go against St. Gallen today, an away game. We come forward, but our players get easily dispossessed. And St. Gallen look like they're going to have the first highlight of the episode. They break down our right. They're going to get a ball into the box. No, it's a good challenge. Now they're going to get the ball in the box. And they managed to get the attempt on target, so not exactly the best start. Is it ever too early for a bit of demand more? Not sure it is. Here we go now. Carmona, our new playmaker, slings in across. We've got a little flicked header on. It's just into Haas. I think it's going to count. I thought that could have been offside, but the centre-back is up. The playmaker, who came in for, what, about £1 million, I think, is in the centre circle. He drifts one into the box to Haas, runs from an onside position, nods it over the keeper. 12th minute in the lead, looking good. Okay, players are playing pretty well as well. We are woefully inconsistent. Whenever we get a win, we then follow it up with a couple of defeats and a draw. I feel like we need to get on a little bit of a run. We need to stick with a tactic. I've been changing it every 4 or 5 games, it seems. We need to let some players settle in, bed in. Oh, that is far too easy. Our defence, which is ravaged by injuries and suspensions, by the way, but goodness me. That was easy for Joshua Mays, wasn't it? Goodness. So we've given the ball away through Yeboah. And the player that out on the left drifts inside. For some reason, Von Bournemouth is down on one knee. And he rolls it into the corner of the goal. We're going to have to get creative, boys. We've given away our good start. And we are back where we started, tying the game, shading those match stats. But going towards half-time, not an awful lot happening. Carmona, for some reason, didn't get an assist for that goal. Not sure why. He clearly put the free kick in. But we are going to say quite assertively that we are not happy with that and we need a little bit more from you. We are going to demand that straight away. Good, that's pressurised the midfield three. Henry Harris, the English gentleman up front's not doing an awful lot. Is it time for Campare? I think it is. We're going to give him the advanced forward role. And we're going to ask for a little bit more creativity from the team. That's a little bit of a better response. We're going to go attacking though, because this is a game we really do need to win. We're going through the entire second half without a single highlight. This is not good enough. I mean, at least we're not losing on camera, but a 1-1 draw after taking the lead early on. A pretty listless second half. And so our troubles in Switzerland continue. I think those boys can train again tomorrow. So there we find ourselves down in 7th place. We're, 7 points ahead of Toon, so that's encouraging. We're only, 4 points off St Gallen in 5th, and that's a European place. But we can put absolutely no run of form together whatsoever. We win one, we lose one, we draw a couple, and then we're scratching around for another win. Maybe we've still got a little bit of tactical work to do. The transfer window's still got a couple of days to run. You never know, we might spend a little bit more. But we need to do something quick because the season is reaching its final third and we are whimpering around without much of a clue. Thank you for everybody that's dropping by to watch this Border Adventures. Thank you for everyone that's subscribed to the channel and is liking the videos. You are heroes, one and all. We will try and buck up our performance and maybe even show you a win in Switzerland before we get sacked. And we'll see you very soon as we continue our Border Adventures.